Hello, this is Scott Wepener, editor of telecoms.com at AfricaCom 2014, and I'm talking to Louis Wepener, who's Regional Business Director for Africa at Polystar. Louis, could you start by just telling us what current trends you're seeing in the Africa telecoms market?
Yes, good afternoon. Currently, we can see a big trend going towards CM in the African regions. We can see many of the countries where they've got 2 or 3 mobile operators now. And some of these operators and countries, they're becoming more and more saturated. So the mobile operators needs to focus more now on keeping their customers. They're sort of moving away from recruiting customers to getting new customers. But now when they've got these customers, they need to make sure that they're happy so that they don't churn. One of the ways that we can see that is the operators are looking to see how they can invest their money in tools like CEM to make sure that they keep these customers happy and to see what they use their network for.
So how can this improved customer experience be achieved then?
Well, we're only starting to see that the mobile operators are actually trying to use all this data intelligence that they've got from the network. With the capture, with using tools like Polystar, they can generate loads of information of what their customers are doing. They want to know what their customers are doing with the network, what they're using for. The mobile operators needs to know who are their customers and also what they might need for the future. By getting that information, they need to have tools, service assurance tools, CM tools like Polystar to do that. And from there, they've got a wealth of information that they can utilize to be a little bit smarter, a little bit clever on how they actually approach their customers.
How then can operators obtain reliable information about their customers?
Well, when these operators actually go and invest in tools like CM, for instance, they've got all that wealth of information. Now, I think one of the things what can do is where we can utilize our solution a little bit better is we've got a standalone solution. We can also integrate with some of the other big data players, and from there they can incorporate that maybe with some of the in-house tools already. For that, will give them a broader, better understanding of how to use this information and what they can actually get from the network.
Can you give any examples of how this kind of data can deliver benefits to an operator?
Yes, let me think of 2 examples. One is for the customer care teams. Beyond just having the CRM, you also need to make sure that your customers are happy. I'm a customer, I've got an issue, I've got a drop call, something is wrong, I need to phone into the call center. One of the applications that we've got is they call in, the operator can actually handle very quickly with a couple of minutes, seconds, quickly have a look and see what bad experience am I getting. From there, they can also quickly do the first call resolution, make sure that they're not affecting some of their other customers. One of the deployments that they actually got, we reduced the call setup time, and that reduced the costs. And now all of a sudden, they've got a solution that can actually save them time, a solution that can save them money, that's good for ROI. The return on investment could be achieved quite sooner. So that's how they can actually use some of these tools to make them a lot more sufficient, and also to make sure that the customer are a little bit happier, and to make sure that this is not affecting some of the other customers. Now, to use some of these type of products to generate more revenue. For subscriber analytics, for instance, what you can do is you've got your high value customers. You've got your customers that, your 80-20 rule. So what you want to do is, firstly, you need to identify those customers. You need to make sure that those customers, the network space, are optimized as well as they can be, so that you ensure that you don't lose those revenues. And you can also see how they're actually using your network now. You can actually see, do they use more data, what type of applications, and that you can use the Polystar solution for. But more importantly, now we can start to do some overlaps where you can actually use some of that information. With Polystar, you can actually identify those high-value customers. From there, you can actually see where they are, what they're using your network for. You can actually get an understanding of how they're actually operating, who they are, where they live. And from there, by having that information, you can actually have targeted campaigns for those guys. And that is an extra revenue stream to have some upsell to some of these high-value customers. These high-value customers, you can also, once you've identified them, manage them to be a little bit more proactive so that they're always a happy customer. When you have a happy customer, you're going to reduce your chances of those customers churning.
That all sounds very clear. Can you now tell me a little bit more about Polystar in general?
Okay, so Polystar is a Swedish company. Our head office are based in Sweden, Stockholm. We've been around for quite a long time. We're almost more than 30 years old. We were established in 1983. We're privately owned, which is very important for some of our customers. It just makes decision making a lot easier. You know, we do believe to be close to our customers. We've got more than 110 reference customers worldwide in more than 50 countries. So we really an international company.
And finally, can you just tell us a bit more about Polystar's plans for the Africa region?
Well, we were quite successful in Europe, in Norwegian regions, in Asia, and with all the telecommunication growth that's going on in Africa, of course you have to be here. So this year we've decided to open an office here in South Africa to be closer to our customers, to be closer to our prospects, and also to show that we're here to work in Africa.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.